Hi everyone, it's Becky here from Ivy's Corner, back for day 3 of Inktober Tangles 2025. I am going to dive in straight away with day 3 of Inktober Tangles, and that is Melvina by Nadine Roller. A tangle I've never done before, but I've just had a little practice and it's a really nice, fun one. So I'm going to pick up my pen, and this is a kind of a really nice tangle with a couple of different kind of versions or options for you. I'm going to show you kind of 2 variations in one almost. And to do that, I'm going to start off by just drawing a kind of a right angle in what's going to be kind of the corners, I suppose, of my space that I'm filling. So if I was drawing on a tile, it would be the corners of the tile for this particular version of this pattern. And I'm doing that in all 4 corners of my space. And then I'm going to aura this fairly wide with another smaller right angle to create this kind of corner, almost corner frame, I suppose, around the edges of my space, like so. And then once I've done that, I'm then going to do a kind of an inverted V shape, kind of pointing in towards this corner here. So we're going to bring this into the centre and out. Kind of like the end of a ribbon, but there's a little inverted V, sort of inverted triangle into that corner to create this shape here. And I'm going to do that in all of these corners, like this, each and every one. And then once I've done that, we've kind of got these cool sort of spiky shapes here. I'm going to aura these chevron, these triangles that I created, like so, and then use that to form a small square. I'm going to do that again on every single one. It's tricky to draw in this little book rather than a tile. So auraing that line and then using that kind of shape that we're given to create a triangle, or a square, excuse me. Auraing that space and then using those lines to create our shape, like so. And then in the pattern here, these are inked in. So I'm going to take a moment to ink these squares in. Inking in is one of the nicer kind of relaxing parts I find of Zentangle. Don't have to think too much, just take your time and watch the ink flow onto the paper. Just nice and slowly making these shapes into a nice inky black colour. Just taking my time in getting rid of any of the small specks of white. There we go. So we've now got this kind of bold element here to the pattern. And then to finish off this kind of version, I'm going to just do another line that kind of almost continues these lines on top here, but without touching these inky shapes that we've placed. So I'm going to continue that line as if this one was kind of one long line, and then the same at the bottom here. And then I'm simply going to do another inverted triangle to cap it off. Turning my book, I'm going to do the same thing. So add my aura lines and then my inverted triangles. The same here. And just auraing the shapes that already exist on the paper. And this is kind of the version of Melvina that is a kind of almost sort of frame or border tangle. And before I add some shade, I'm just going to show you another version of it. Now, this version, I'm going to do 2 kind of parallel lines coming in diagonally across this space, like so. And then I'm going to turn my tile and do the same thing, but attaching the lines to these ones that I have just placed. So we end up with these 4 triangle shapes sort of pointing in towards each other. Now the next stage of this would be to extend these lines, the ends of these triangles, up for all of these shapes. So just adding little pointed lines to those, and then I'm going to simply aura our initial triangles that we created by drawing another V shape. And those vertical lines there have just given us the opportunity to space out the lines to create these wider chevrons. And then the final section of adding this star version almost of the tangle is to aura these lines here to create another inky square like that. But I'm just going to change it up slightly and do a curved line just as a little variation. And then I'm going to ink that in. So it's kind of the same sort of idea as square, but I've just added a bit of a curve just to give it a little bit of difference from those ones on the outside. Like so. Adding my ink. And there we go. So this is Melvina. Let me show you how I have shaded my patterns when I've drawn this. Simply going to just add some of this, the General's layout pencil here, to the inverted triangles all around the border, and then also on this central star version as well. Just to give a different, a little bit of, texture and depth to this. I think this would also work really nicely in other types of shading, and that's obviously the same with any tangle. You can choose to follow the way that I have done it or the way that's on the step out, or you can go your own way and add your own version, which is all completely fine. There are no rights and wrongs. You can just do whatever works for you and whatever works for your composition and for your tile. So just adding that depth and the grey tones, and then I'm very gently going to just use my tortillon to soften these lines I've placed down. Taking my time and just softening these lines of shade that I've added. Nice and gently. All the way around the edge and then into that centre as well. And that is day number 3 of Inktober, and this lovely pattern, which has a lot of different ways that you can use it, as a border or just as a line, or all sorts of different things. So this is day 3, and this is Melvina by Nadine Roller. And I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you are following along, I will see you tomorrow for day number 4. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can follow me on social media as well at ivys_corner_arts. I'll see you tomorrow.